Hey, what's up guys, Claak here, and I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I really feel like this video needs to get out there. It really does. But first, make sure to go check out my Twitch channel, www.twitch.tv/Claak, and I stream every single day. If you have any questions you would like to ask me about PvP, PvE, what my thoughts about like anything, I am more than welcome and more than happy to answer your questions. Alright, first, let's establish what solo queue is. Now, when people say solo queue, it doesn't actually mean you're going to queue up alone and you're going to fight someone else in a 1v1 situation for a ranking. That's not what we're talking about. When we say solo queue, we mean you queue up into a system and it's going to put you into a group with two other people who did the exact same thing, leading up to a 3v3. So maybe we should advocate 3v3 solo queue instead of just solo queue, because again, I find a lot of people they misunderstand just by the title simply alone, and I get it. If they didn't watch like our videos or anything like that, they wouldn't understand. Again, I feel like our message is sometimes misunderstood. Now, there's been some complaints. The complaints that I heard of us adding this in is, one, it affects the community is dying. Two, what did people say? Oh yeah, what if my comp is random and the enemy team that we face is a real comp? And three, solo queue would hurt the 3v3 bracket. Now I got answers for all three of those. Let's first start with the first one. So back to answer the point number one, which is this would hurt the community even further. And I would have to say to that is I disagree. I already feel like Blizzard already destroyed the community when they added the LG system in, and the LG system is honestly quite terrible. You spend hours and hours looking for teammates, literally hours, whether you play a DPS or a healer, even though it's easier to find a team as a healer, but it's still a struggle for both sides. Now, what I would like Blizzard to do that could potentially help this out, but I don't think they would is to remove the separations of factions, allow Alliance and Horde players to be able to play together, and then I would think, you know, that would add a lot of player base to people being able to find teams. But again, I don't find that this solo queue movement that we're pushing for would hurt anything. Blizzard already did that themselves. If anything, this would help the system that they've already tried to grow, which is, you know, the LG system. I think this would help. And not to mention, every other game that has a competitive PP system already has what we're advocating for. Overwatch, League of Legends, there's a lot. All right, there's a lot. I can't think of them right now, but there's a lot. Any kind of PvP game you can think of has this system, and that's all we're asking for. And now to address the second problem, which is the complaint of the random comps, I think that is a very easy issue to fix. So basically every game that you would be in, it would be double DPS and one healer every single game. Second, it would be a real comp. So you would queue into like an RPS, RLS, or RMD, anything you see, everything you've seen on the ladder, any kind of comp possible, I think you should be able to queue into, and it would eventually find teammates that would queue into that and you would play together. I think it'd be a really good system. Now, another complaint about this specific issue is, you know, what if their comp is simply just better than our comp? And I think you're going to have that happen almost any time. So like, let's say you're running RLS and you face an RMP. What comp is better? Clearly the RMP is going to be a better comp, but I think you're going to have that situation in any game, and I think that's up to Blizzard to buff certain classes to affect that comp, making your comp a little bit better. If anyone, am I saying that in the right way? Can you guys understand what I'm saying? Let me know if you understand what I'm saying. Hopefully I'm making sense here. Now on to the third point that people make is they think it's going to destroy the 3v3 bracket because they think solo queue and the normal 3v3 bracket are going to be the same thing. No, that's not what we want. We want them to be separate. It wouldn't be fair for a pre-made to face a random group. That doesn't make any sense at all. So if you separate it, there is literally no harm done to the game. If anything, you're adding more content, allowing people to be able to queue whatever they want without being discriminated of what class and what spec they play or anything like that. and they would be able to finally play the game that they, pay to play. Now, since we just went over literally all the complaints that I've heard or that I can even think of, which is only 3, I think they are very minor complaints that we have addressed in this video, and I just don't see any reason not to add the Soloque movement into the game. If anything, I think we as a community, we need to come together and, strive for this to be a bigger part of the game. So yeah, guys, that is the 3v3 Soloque movement that me, Samix, Bonnie, and Stoops have been working for to try to get implemented in the game. Now, I wish Blizzard would just listen to the PvP community a little bit more. I don't think this is going to fix the game at all. Again, I think this just adds more content. Now, trying to fix the game, like the balancing is totally different. Again, what we're asking for, I don't think it's a huge deal at all. I don't think it's going to affect the game in a negative way. If anything, it's going to be affected in a positive way. I would love to hear some of the more negative side effects you guys think would happen if this system was added into the game. Again, I just think it's ridiculous it hasn't been added. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now get out there and pwn some nubs.